ready for the game as well. And just like that, Mirko, it's time!
The last chance begins now. Let's see if the Philippines can do it to put themselves on the board. It's Indonesia's Taz on the orange buff. Philippines Del Rosario starting on the purple.
Two petrifies available for Indonesia to make plays around. And for the Philippines, it's all flickers, and it's still the Purify in the hands of Imam. But wait a minute, that's aggression in the early game.
Petrify being popped in defensively by Dreams. Villa Luna will take a bit of damage as well. But it's Philippines with, again, that early aggression.
They went for the early aggression, but with the Thalassophobia, the blessing of the ocean, Dreams is just so much harder to pick off, and this is what they're trying to abuse right here. If the Filipinos want to go for those pickoffs early on, it's going to be very, very difficult because all the targets are either tanky, mobile, sustainable, or like Taz right here, he has crowd control immunity.
Looking at it right now, man, Imam went for the Purify. He can actually get out of these crazy engages from Indonesia, especially from those Petrifies. But when it's comboed together, they can actually just use it in a way where that Purify becomes kind of, useless, right?
It's going to be a lot more difficult. I mean, for Indonesia, they have the option of just going on to Villa Luna as well. And just like that, if you're on a Kaja and you cannot get those pickoffs, your effectiveness, your usage is down so much. So right here, with the turtle spawning, aggression is being engaged by the Indonesians. And that Yeeve pick, man, it's a lot of damage and so much utility that is such a thorn in the side of the Philippines.
For both teams, again, they're playing it passively. But honestly, if we're looking at it right now, if the game is as slow tempo as it is in the first 2 minutes, it's definitely going to favor Philippines later on in the game. With the Farsa and that Leslie constantly scaling, Indonesia will find themselves outscaled in the later stages. They're going to have to look for more picks early on. They're going to have to build a snowball here in the first few neutral objectives.
If they don't snowball, it's going to be very difficult for Brands to solo carry. Yes, Melissa has a lot of damage, and yes, he has the Inspire, but right now Villa Luna gets jumped on.
It's only the Roamer right now who's taking a whole lot of damage there. It's going to be the pot up onto the back line. That's a beautiful retribution by Taz to secure the first turtle of the game as Dreams jumps in onto Imam, who's still able to get out with the wings by wings. The pot up now with the help of Villa Luna against Psychots, and Taz was able to withstand, to sustain back up. Del Rosario going to fall, and it's the first blood over to Taz.
Look at Psychos just sustaining through all that damage, and you can see the benefit that aggression brings to you. Imam was unable to do anything because he was instantly jumped on by Dreams. A roamer in his role, but still able to function like an assassin.
Man, the Smartest as well, Rashi. We've seen the Smartest pick a whole lot. Meanwhile, top side, Psychos gonna be stunned up. He gets a little bit more HP. Doesn't get solo killed. Taz, though, right now, again, playing around that top side, providing a bit of support. Arashi, it's still 1-0. The turtle also going to the hands of Indonesia. So it's Indonesia with the initial lead. Del Rosario with the shield unity and even the Tortoise's Puissance. It's actually committing on to Dreams right now with Villa Luna coming in. That's the rough waves popped by Dreams defensively just to get out of that situation.
And it does seem like Indonesia has a lot more advantage, but this is how it's supposed to be. They have strong early game heroes and they need to abuse it because even though they are winning, the longer the game goes, the more difficult it's gonna be. Right now the Filipinos go for a dive, but it gets countered.
Real world manipulation, Imam so low. Still, having that wings by wings, proper cover from the rest of the roster here for Team Philippines. Imam's got to be careful. Needs to back off. Hijime and Dreams already maneuvering themselves to pick up, to give some more space over to Brands to pick up the shield. Here, Imam going to be taken low with the feather airstrike. That's a clutch movement by Imam. He gets out. He outplays the Indonesian members. Dreams here going to be able to get out, but what a play. Imam staying.
Outplay above outplays here. We saw that Brands goes in aggressively, trying to outplay the two low members from the side of the Philippines, but the Philippines read through it and counter it back. Right now, the Philippines have some more momentum to work with, and the turtle is up. Will they contest right here, knowing that as far as heroes goes in the early game, they are at a disadvantage, and it seems like Indonesia might just let it go.
Better setup right now with a Divine Judgment as well, but bringing Taz out for the retribution to come through from Del Rosario to secure the second turtle of the game. It's Philippines who are able to withstand, and again, they're coming back, equalizing in gold.
They're equalizing in gold, but the Indonesians have taken a lot of HP, and of course the gold shield from the bottom turret as well. that means Brands will have a lot more damage. And looking at the composition, there will be some time here where the long-range burst will not be able to just deny him completely. And in those mid-game fights, that is where Brands will attempt to use that lead to try and take over the game.
We'll have to see again, right? The game is going very, very slow. Like we mentioned early on, Indonesia wants to get the ball rolling as fast as possible. In the later stages, they're going to have to rely heavily on that Yves and the Melissa. I think when it comes to this just consistent damage, it might actually favor Philippines. With Villaluna now running away, Dreams going in. That's a Petrify as well. A lot of damage placed in, a lot of resources spent as well. He's going to be dove on with Feather Airstrike and Dapadap, who jumps in with the flicker, finding that kill. Brands now with the go away, still able to kind of ban, but Dapadap comes in with that stun, picking up a double kill for Philippines. Even Soriano getting out. Taz now in the midst, still able to escape. It's a 2-for-1. In favor of Philippines.
The Philippines definitely come out on top here, taking out the gold lane and the mid lane at the same time. They were just a bit too aggressive from Indonesia, and they get flanked out. And against Abaxia, if he is behind you guys, that's going to be so difficult to deal with. And Soriano instantly equalized the turret situation. Let's take a look at that replay. Instantly engaging onto Villaluna, but as a result, Hijumi gets jumped on. He pops the real-world manipulation to try and buy a bit more time, but even Brands gets taken out right here. And you can see that in a messy fight, both teams can come out on top, but wait a minute, Brands is out of the game.
Philippines, this is what they like to do. Again, playing around that gold lane. Dreams, though, again, this is getting personal. Another engage onto Villaluna, who's able to soak in that damage. It's all to distract from the Eternals. Taz and Psychots are onto it. With a man advantage, Philippines will look to try to commit onto this. It's a contest right now with Dapadap coming in. Psychots finds it, securing the turtle. Imam still able to get out with wings by wings. Psychots disengaging with the help of Dreams. Philippines not going to go for it. As well as Indonesia, both teams, they just decide to back off and to rebuild.
Indonesia is still ahead right here. They were able to steal that turtle as well. But as we mentioned, the clock is ticking, and they keep trying to go for engages onto Villaluna, and it hasn't been really working out as intended. And the Filipinos are definitely still not as behind as the Indonesians would want them to be.
7 minutes in. Only a 1,000 gold lead here for Indonesia. Even less, actually. That's 700 around. Conceal play going to be popped in now. Villaluna looking for the play. Brands able to spot them out, canceling that conceal. As Taz disengages. Philippines are trying their best to, again, get some pressure back into the enemy jungle in that gold lane. They have an advantage when it comes to that pressure because of the tier 1 in that bottom side, but they have to be very careful around that top lane. Look at how Indonesia are playing around that.
Right now, Imam does not have the Lightning Truncheon as well. So once that item is completed, that's a lot more wave clear, a lot more burst damage that the Filipinos can play with. Right here, Dreams is serving as an assassin, trying to make a play, most likely. But we'll have to see if the Filipinos fall for it. The mutual objectives are not up right here, so both teams, they have time to try and make creative plays of their own.
It's all about the setup again, right? Mid-control, pushing into waves. Again, just building this little lead with manipulating the waves, by manipulating the waves, as they're also going to play around the vision. They're going to play around the bushes right now to look for these crazy ambushes. But honestly, if they play this way, Arashi, I do feel like, again, Indonesia might have a little bit of a lead when it comes down to just that pickoff. There's a lot of map openers, though, for Philippines to get that vision down. Dream's going to be zoned out. That's the Lord against spawning in. Whoa, the bravest fighter by Dapadap. Over in that topside river. That's a massive resource burnt out before the Lord fight.
The Filipinos are applying the Indonesian strategy of taking out your engage tool before you can engage on them. So Dreams is definitely one of the main heroes they are looking to pick off. But look at this play, though. The Filipinos already showing different looks, being a lot more aggressive. We saw that they usually kite back, but in the first few fights here, they're actually diving into the backline, ensuring that Hijumi and Brands get taken out, even if the frontliners are able to dive towards their own backline.
Winning conditions for both teams. For Philippines, they need to play this team fight with Dapadap jumping into that backline. Again, he needs to be the distraction towards the Yves, towards the Melissa. But for Indonesia, they need to just dive straight onto the Leslie and the Farsa. It becomes really, really interesting now in the mid-stage of the game with the Lord spawn in, as Indonesia will have more control here. Philippines looking to, again, still find this position. They're still trying to contest it, Arashi.
And right now, even though Indonesia wants to go for pickoff, even though it seems like they know that they have a numbers advantage here, you can see that everyone's playing so patiently, trying to figure out if this is a trap, if there's any flanks coming through. And for Indonesia, it's a slow approach, but the Filipinos are rotating, and the Indonesians spot them. Black Dragon form is being used.
Black Dragon form over there. Villaluna going to be able to find it by judge, but Taz is going to be looking for it, but give it down Rosario, who finds the retribution. Now, Taz going to be stunned up, going to be decimated there by himself. Del Rosario canceling out the real world manipulation, and Philippines are back. They are here in the game, and they're looking to win it.
That is a massive lord picked up by the Philippines. They're the ones who are able to just counter-engage. And now with the lord just pushing and empowering the waves, the Indonesians are on the back foot. They do have long-range damage, but they are not immune to the dive potential. And just like that, Feather Airstrike has been used, and it's being used so often and so aggressively by Imam.
That Feather Airstrike, again, such a problem for Indonesia to deal with right now. As with the Lord pushing in that bottom lane, they are going to look for some sieges. Soriano already in that bottom lane with the support, with the vision provided by Depadap and Villaluna. They're looking to siege down some more, but it's, again, just Indonesia who are opting to give this bottom lane tier 2 up for the Philippines. In the mid lane as well, they're looking for it right now. Del Rosario is able to find the shield unity. And the instant follow-up coming in from Soriano and Imam to pick it up. Now it's the mid lane tier 2. Philippines are doing super well in the siege. Every single turret falling now, as that's perfect setup again for the top lane tier 2. The Feather Airstrike taking away a whole lot of HP from Hijume.
For now, Indonesia, they have a huge detriment. They are not able to get that engage. In game number 1, every time they figure out that the fight is on, they can just go and they can catch the members of the Philippines, but it's a reverse this time.
That's the Divine Judgment. Taz instantly bursted down. The real world manipulation not finding the range, but Saika finds the Petrify on to 3. It's a 1-for-1 now. Indonesia able to find one more. Jumps in, almost finding more, but it's a beautiful disengage from Philippines. A beautiful read by the members, both using the Flicker and the Purify.
That was such a tense situation for the Philippines. That could have been disaster. They were clumped up together to avoid getting picked off. But against a Kadira, against a Yutong, you need to have proper spacing. Right here, 3-man Petrify from Psychos was able to start it off for Indonesia, and the follow-up from Dreams nearly sealed the deal. Fortunately for the Philippines though, they're able to escape with their lives, and now it's back to that slow-paced gameplay. Who will make the first move?
Solid reaction time for both Soriano and Imam. The positioning as well was absolutely perfect. And now, Rashi, we're creeping into that late game with the items here. Oh, it's a beautiful engage by Depadap over towards Dreams. Psychos looking for some more. Doesn't have the Petrify. Soriano still able to kite away with the help of Imam. Psychos jumping in, gonna be pushed back. Del Rosario taken down. Soriano finding the kill. It's a 2-for-1 again in favor of Philippines.
Dreams tries his best to be that obnoxious roamer, finding intelligence and still surviving, but the Filipinos understand that he has limited mobility. Every time his movement abilities have been used up, they just jump on him and they completely punish Dreams and shut him down. Right here, 0 and 2 is not the score he needs to be able to one-shot, to be the threat for the back line.
That's the downside of not having a Flicker. That's the downside of going for something like a Petrify. You're technically a glass cannon. You cannot take those crazy engages that the Philippines have been able to force. But now, again, it's been the real world manipulation. Depadap again on the back line, jumping in, doing so much. Depadap finding it, and the retribution goes towards the mid laner for Indonesia. Soriano on the back line, still able to dish out so much damage, picking up an unstoppable, and it's a 3-for-1. The Philippines here are absolutely styling, but the Lord was given over to Indonesia with only Dreams and Psychos left to defend. It seems Philippines want to look for the end.
15 seconds for Brands to respawn right here. The Filipinos, they might just go for the 4v2 team fight. Psychos goes in with the Black Dragon form just to delay. The Petrify is available, but it doesn't seem like he will commit on a play like this.
Furious dive defensively. Dreams gonna be stunned up by the shield unity as Soriano deals so much damage. That's a snipe. Dreams taken down. A monster kill for Soriano. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it's the Enhanced Lord marching down with Imam forcing that further airstrike to clear it out.
Whoa.
It's Philippines again, only able to find that base turn in the mid lane. That's the Fierce Dive again onto Villaluna, knocking 2 members up. Soriano in the back lines, but it's getting Brad who's massive with the go away, dealing out a whole lot of damage as the pot up soaks in so much in the front line. Soriano still in the midst, again dealing the true damage on towards the Indonesian members. The pot up running back, taking low, flickers out, gets back to safety. A 1-for-1 in the end.
A very good try by the Indonesians, trying to make sure that with the Lord pressuring the Filipinos, they delay the recalls and go for a fight when the Filipinos are disoriented. It all began here when Villaluna is in the front. They go with the Furious Dive from side cards, and Brands was positioning so well, but the Padap does so much damage. He is an absolute menace towards that back line. Taz tries his best, but at this point, the Martis is just a damage sponge for Soriano. The true damage is so dangerous and so difficult to deal with.
Well, we'll see right now. They're going to be spotted again. That's why Leslie becomes so prio right now. But you can already see with the real world manipulation popped in. That's going to be Dreams looking for the backline. Imam with a beautiful dodge and the Purify to get out. It's just the mid lane tier 1 taken down. Del Rosario with the shield unity, as well as the Tortoise's Poissons. He's looking for an engage, but it will not happen for Philippines as Indonesia read it out. They back off, and it's back to that slow tempo setup game, that macro level gameplay again as we take a look at the items.
Imam has the Holy Crystal on top of the Lightning Truncheon Clock of Destiny combo, and with a Winter Truncheon, that is just double security because of course Imam understands he is an important tool for the Philippines right now, and for Dreams, having the Genius Wand and the Divine Glaive, he now starts to do a lot more damage than the Philippines can afford to take. If the fight actually goes in favor of the Indonesians, that is definitely one of the core factors, as right now, the Lord will spawn while Imam does not have a Purify. So that is a factor that the Indonesians can count on if they want to engage, because both Petrifies from Indonesia are still available.
9 seconds for the Enhanced Lord. Still, it's an Enhanced Lord. Not yet that Evolved Lord. It spawns in the 18th minute of the game. But I do feel like it's going to be both teams looking for that Evolved Lord. Both teams will just try to dance around the Lord, play with the waves in the side lanes, and again, just force a mistake from one another. Right now, it does feel like Philippines have more control over the Lord pit with the pod up on that top lane. This time, he's playing very carefully, Arashi, because of what happened last game. But now it's going to be the Black Dragon form, actually from Cyclops, concealed, and he finds Soriano with the help of Dreams. That's a shutdown picked up. Villaluna falling to the hands of Hijime, as that's where the airstrike responded towards the real world manipulation. Miniwaves pushing in that mid lane. Del Rosario gonna look for an opening right now, as that's Philippines looking for something in this fight. What can they do, Rashi?
They can go for the lore steal if they really want to. It's going to be forced to be a 50-50 though. No Petrifies available for the Indonesians, but the Filipinos, it seems like they do not want to risk it. They know that they have options to play around with, so they concede this lord for now.
It's a free lord given over to Indonesia. Still an Enhanced Lord. I think it was a wise decision by Philippines to look just to recall, to back off, to not commit, and to play around that Leslie and the Farsa now as we have entered that late stage.
We have entered that late stage, and now Indonesia with the Lord in Tao. They can go for a dive for aggressive maneuvers while the Philippines are forced to adjust and adapt to the fact that the waves are going to be pushing. Indonesia is going for those pickoffs though, waiting for flanks available, and if the Filipinos misstep here, it could be dangerous.
No room for mistakes. Taz jumping in, bringing Del Rosario back, but Villaluna finds the Divine Judgment on towards Cyclops, who's able to find a Petrify on the 3. It's comboed in. Soriano finds the kill. Taz gonna go massive on the back line as the pot up does the same. With a Raven Fighter on the 3. He does so much. He turns the tide. Imam getting out, getting a Petrified. A beautiful winning question. The pot up versus the world in the back line. It's gonna be Imam falling. Del Rosario trying to save the game with the pot up as well. They're looking for it. The pot up jumps in. Taz gonna be able to dish out some damage as Brands goes into the mid lane, clearing the base turret up. The bottom with the Bravest Fighter again, saving the game for Philippines and taking Taz down for a double kill.
All ends up in a 3-4-3 for both these teams, but the Indonesians have taken all the base turrets from the Filipinos, and it looks like they have the advantage here. Death timers though, 37 seconds on Taz, 25 seconds on Hijime right now. The Filipinos have a window where they have more members, but just take a look at that previous fight. Look at the engage. It just starts everything out for the Indonesians. And there's just not enough damage coming in from the Filipinos. They were not set up for this fight. And of course, Dreams comes in from the side. And it was sketchy. Everyone was so low. But fortunately for both these teams, 2 to 3 members were still able to survive. Hijumi now picks up that brute force breastplate as well. So it's going to be a lot more tanky against the Paddock as well as Soriano. But the purple buff has been stolen by the members of the Philippines. But now with the wave advantage, with the base turrets gone, the Indonesians have a lot more macro options to explore.
The pot-up is making miracles happen. Villaluna to be caught after rough waves with the real world manipulation. The Queen has fallen in the 20th minute of the game. Philippines down 4v5. This is the moment again for Indonesia to look for either a siege or to play around that evolved Lord, with Villaluna spawning back in 26 seconds.
There's a massive wave in the bottom side, but the Indonesians opt to go for control, for setup in the Lord pit. The Filipinos are looking for an opportunity, but with 15 seconds to go until their main engage tool, their main takeoff person is actually on the map, it's going to be very dangerous. The Paddock, though, has the Blade of Despair, so now the backline needs to be very careful. And it seems like the Filipinos are not going down without a fight.
Del Rosario opening up the shot, the fight, the Paddock jumps in towards Brad, finds the kill with Del Rosario. The backline gonna be taken down, but Dreams finds the same on the Soriano. The Paddock is massive, jumps in, picks up a legendary. It's a 1 for 2. Divine Judgment over to Psychos right now. The Paddock is gonna be able to flicker out. Psychos jumping with Dreams. Now, the Paddock in the midst of it all, gonna be taken down with a decimation. Imam still clearing out the waves, and it feels like Indonesia will still have more pressure to play with around the Lord. Villaluna looking to play right now, jumping in again, gonna be knocked up. The Lord completely ignored by Indonesia. Furious dive by Psychos. The retribution battle. Del Rosario coming in. Villaluna with the steal. Still, Philippines are in this game.
They secured the Lord with a steal. Villaluna saving the game from the brink of defeat. And the Indonesians are once again forced to wait and play around this Lord.
The miracles happening for Philippines. A member down, 2 members down. The Queen is still able to save the Philippines with the evolved Lord take. And now it's Soriano with the Paddock spawning in. They might actually be able to capitalize on the fact.
There's still 5 members available for the Indonesians though. So the Filipinos needs to be very careful on how they want to approach this. Dreams already waiting for an opportunity, but look at this kite back. Look at this chase!
Immortality gonna be popped in. That's Psychos again, looking for the back line. Soriano gonna be petrified, still able to run away right now, but it's gonna be Soriano who's gonna take him down. Dreams picking up an unstoppable. Del Rosario going back again to save his back line, but Dreams will not fall. It's a 2-0. Indonesia now looking for the end.
48 seconds for Soriano to spawn. This is a disaster, but the Filipinos have shown that they can wither this kind of storm. Indonesia making a play with the mid wave, looking for an opportunity right here. Can the Filipinos clear it out?
Imam spawning back in for the airstrike to clear up the waves. Del Rosario still getting in. Dreams jumping into the back line. Imam still going to be able to dish it out right now. The base is wide open, but there are no minion waves to play with for Indonesia, as Philippines have once again defended.
They're able to clear the wave, and Imam was able to survive from the dive of Dreams. And instead, the Indonesians are now down their roamer for 48 seconds. That is not how they wanted this game to go. In 76 seconds, the next Lord, yet again, will be contested. And we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Bali, Indonesia, they're all up on their feet. This is a game to watch. My goodness, Arashi, let's slow the tempo down. Let's talk about the items, man.
At this point, everyone has items, but the Paddock knows that he is, right at this point, a damage dealer. They do not need to withstand damage. They need to make sure that Dreams, that Brands, the main damage dealers from the side of the Indonesians, get shut down. But look at this.
Oh, Psychos gonna get caught there. His immortality is gonna be down. Dreams is still dead. 60 seconds on the death timers. 24 minutes in. What do Philippines do?
They have a chance to go for the end right here. The waves are not pushing in because the base turrets are still available. But if Villaluna can get a huge pickoff, there is potential. And it seems like the Filipinos recognize it. They're going for it. We have to be careful about Dreams trying to go for the back door, the flank.
So much poke being dished out. Hijime taking a half HP with Brands and Taz. Philippines, again, waiting for the next mini wave, but it will not be coming in fast. It's still in the base, marching, walking down. Del Rosario in the front still. They're all protecting the back line. Soriano and Imam, these are the two winning conditions, but they bought enough time. They've cleared enough waves to look for the Lord now, and that's what they're going to do, rotating over towards that bottom side river.
On the top side, though, the wave is pushing in favor of the Indonesians. So if the Indonesians want to play the long game, they have an advantage, and the Filipinos will be the ones forced to make a move. But look at this maneuver here. The Indonesians are splitting apart.
How do they deal with this right now? The pot up sent to the base again to clear out the waves. Taz still playing around the lore. Del Rosario jumping with the shield unity. And it seems like Philippines are looking towards that topside river with Imam opening it up. They've spotted Dreams and Brands, and they have stopped that split push threat from happening.
And they are now clearing the wave in the middle side as well. And it's down to that Lord dance. And in this situation, it does seem like the proactive maneuvers are available for the Indonesians. Can they dive towards that back line? Will the back line, Soriano and Imam, be able to survive from the aggression? Because if they do, that is a huge problem for the Indonesians, but that is a massive if.
Even with Flicker, even with Purify, they sometimes still struggle because of the sheer amount of CC and the sheer amount of dive from Indonesia. We'll see how they try to face off against Indonesia here. It's a brilliant feather airstrike by Imam, taking a whole lot of HP from Hijime. And that might just be the little victory that Philippines need to, again, take control of that mid lane to have more pressure around the bottom side Lord pit.
That is the advantage the Filipinos have. Burst damage, but they might have spotted a Indonesian member in the top side here. They make a play for it, and it won't be enough. The Indonesians are still on the board, still waiting for a chance to make a play, but this is macro territory, and the Indonesians, the top wave, is just pushing again and again in their favor, making it such a headache for the Filipinos.
This is the advantage you have when you get that base turret in that top lane. Those side lanes are constantly pushing in. Psychos now looking for the opening right now with the Helmet Cause. Gonna be helped with the Divine Judgment. Del Rosario secures the Evolve Lord. Soriano's able to kite back. Flickers out! Dreams and Psychos baited! And that was the pot up who jumps in. Villaluna soaking a whole lot of damage right now. Soriano backs away. Villaluna losing the immortality as he's gonna be dove on. He's gonna be taken down. The Evolve Lord traded in for the Roamer.
The Evolve Lord in favor of the Philippines, but 55 seconds on their main utility tool, their main catch opportunity. We saw this in the previous Lord take. Will the Indonesians still be able to outmaneuver, outplay the Filipinos somehow? Imam goes for the Shadow Talisman. He needs that cooldown.
The pot up again, zoning the other members away, going in for that, but keeping knocked up. Now is the real world manipulation by Hijime. Going into the back line. Soriano losing immortality, gonna be taken down as well by Dreams. Imam now gonna be targeted by Psychos, who jumps in with the fierce dive, who jumps in with the damage. Imam with the feather airstrike, losing the immortality. Del Rosario needs to help him out, but he can't do it. The winner Truncheon was baited out. Indonesia with a 4-man advantage.
There was alone right here. There is 1 minion he can clear, but the next wave is coming out, Mirko. It seems like it is the end.
On this day, a revolution begun. The monarchs have fallen, and Indonesia have won your IESF 2022 MLBB World Champions are Indonesia.
And the crowd explodes. This is a great moment for Indonesia. What a performance, shutting down the dominant team in the Philippines. Wow.
What a stunning performance. A 3-0 up against the Philippines. In the beginning of the tournament, so many doubts, so much hate towards this roster. But they proved the world wrong. This is a new lineup for Indonesia. This young blood, full of talent, full of hunger. And this, out of all the rosters, is the one to be able to defeat the Philippines.
To defeat Blacklist twice, that is an amazing feat, and emotions run high in the Indonesian team. What a moment. But Mirko,
we're going to throw it back to our hosts for the winning ceremony for IESF 2022 MLBB. Take it away, hosts.
Once again, give it up to Indonesia! Indonesia finally they're able to win this match, the grand final of Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Yeah! And please welcome the champion of Mobile Legends Bang Bang,
Indonesia.
Indonesia!
Come on guys, come forward, come forward, come forward. Everyone come forward, and this is the winner of Mobile Legends IESF 14 World Esports Championship Bali 2022.